Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Commander review for Magic the Gathering. Today we're talking about Marrow-Gnawer from the Champions of Kamigawa set. Now, Marrow-Gnawer is a really cool card. It's a Rat Rogue. It's a 2/3 with a mana value of 5, 3 generic and 2 black. And it has a static ability where all rats have fear. Bear in mind that that is affecting all rats, including your opponent's rats. And fear, if you don't know what fear is, it means this creature cannot be blocked except by black creatures or artifact creatures. Just a mono-black form of evasion, which at the time was really cool. And then they came out with Intimidate, which is like the same thing, but for all colors now. All colors can have Intimidate. So fear has slowly gone down in its rank of cool evasion and powerful evasion, but it's still very fun. And that is not even the point of this commander. The point is that for tapping it and sacrificing a rat, which can include itself, so bear in mind that cost. Tap and sacrifice a rat. Put X 1/1 rat, or let me see, I'll read the errata text just in case it's slightly different than what you're reading on the screen. Create X 1/1 black rat creature tokens, where X is the number of rats you control. So bear in mind, Marrow-Gnawer is not really going to increase the number of rats you have if you only have 2. If you have Marrow-Gnawer and any other rat, and you sacrifice that rat, you're just going to get 1 rat because of Marrow-Gnawer being there, right? So you'll end up where you started. So you need at least 3 rats for Marrow-Gnawer to start working. Sacrifice 1 rat, then you make 2. You sacrifice 1 rat, then you make 3, so on and so forth. So that's how you really need to take advantage of Marrow-Gnawer. It does require a minimum of 3 rats in play. With that said, rats are extremely easy to play and easy to get onto the battlefield. There are no card rulings for Marrow-Gnawer, which is really great. And of course, rats are the ones that are the strongest with having multiple copies of other rats in play. Rats care about more rats being in play. There are at least 2 different types of rat creatures that you can have any number of copies of that card in your deck, which is really cool. I chose Pack Rat specifically because it's probably the cheaper of the options when you're picking a rat that can clone itself and make more of itself. But it also has the bonus of it gets stronger the more rats you have in play. And then we get into the deck ideas. The deck idea that I am building for Marrow-Gnawer is actually a kind of a 50-50. It's a rat deck, but it has a sub-theme, or rather a 50-50 theme, with ninjas. The hope for this deck is by making a ton of rat tokens, I can attack wide at my opponents, and then any of the rat tokens that are not blocked, I can then ninjutsu my other cool rat ninjas. And since a lot of the ninjas in black are rats, I'll be able to get the rat bonuses on those creatures, like giving them Menace and Death Touch, and all the other crazy things that ninjas can get as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be fun to try and balance out the rat to ninja ratio, but both powerful archetypes in this color, and I'm probably going to find plenty of support in it. It's a very fun deck. And then, of course, we get to the popular deck idea on EDH Rec. We have cards like Rat Colony. This is one of those that is a kind of pricey to build around, depending on what you're doing, because if you're building a Rat Colony deck, you need a lot of copies of Rat Colony, which can get expensive because individually those cards are much pricier than a traditional Rat card is. But all in all, this is pure 100% Rat synergy and going all in on the rat shenanigans, which is really cool. And then finally, a janky build-around deck idea that I was thinking of for this commander would actually be army, which is kind of weird to think about. I don't know the full extent of how I would do this, but I was trying to find a weird archetype to go with Marrow-Gnawer, and really what it came down to is if I can get rats to have the army creature type, which you can do in black, not as well as you can do in blue perchance, but there are plenty of cards in black, maybe not plenty, but you have plenty of tutors to find them. There are several cards in black, Maskwood Nexus being the best, that can turn the creatures on the board into all creature types. And since one of those creature types is army, you can now build an army deck, and then since they'll have all creature types because of things like Maskwood Nexus, hopefully that's the hope, then when you use Marrow-Gnawer, you'll make lots of copies of armies, and then pretty much you just want to build like a mono black Anthem deck. But then, of course, whenever you are amassing your zombies or amassing your orcs, you're also amassing like on top of your rat tokens, which would be cool. Kind of like a changeling deck, but focusing on the token portion of it and really just building this weird amass deck. I think this could be fun. It's definitely janky. It's definitely kind of like that against the odds kind of vibe. There might be some cards I'm missing for this archetype to really work. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback about this strategy and what you would put in a deck like this. Oh, and I can hit the slide button. There we go. And that is going to do it for Marrow-Gnawer. Really cool card. One of my favorites growing up with playing Magic. This was like my what is his name? The Goblin, Krenko mob boss. Krenko. This to me was like Krenko. Before I like really knew what Krenko was or what Krenko did, this was my Krenko. So I loved Marrow-Gnawer for a long time. Of course, obviously I fell in love with Krenko as well because it's the same thing for goblins. But Marrow-Gnawer, really cool card. I love the rats and the rat folk of Kamigawa Plain and like their story and lore. Really, really cool stuff. So, and of course it's a very popular commander, so it has the ranking of S, as many of these commanders do. So this is a very powerful and popular set to build around with commanders. Of course, if you're building this deck, be prepared to protect your board state, because obviously you are kind of going wide with this deck, so board wipes are very bad for you. So be ready for that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Of course, and as always, if there is anything I missed or any cards I did not talk about, let me know in the comments below. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!